Hello folks, welcome back to the MPD Community Update Show. I am Officer Robert Kelleher and I am the Community Service Officer for the department. Today we have a special guest and it's Pete Jacopuzzi from the Merrimack Crimeline. Welcome, Pete.
Welcome, Rob.
Nice
Thank
to
you
have
very
you.
much. Glad to be here.
So at first I want to talk a little bit about what was going on July 1st. My last show was about the hands-free law that came out. Glad to say that everybody took the warning and the compliance has been outstanding. We've been looking for, violators and surprisingly, there have been very few. I know talking with the state police, they actually did a segment on MUR about it, and they were really surprised as well that very high compliance to the new law, which is really good. That's what
good.
we were looking for.
Yeah.
All the advertising and the warnings and the signs. So thank you very much for paying attention and doing your due diligence and adhering to the new law. It's the safest way. Sharing the road with millions of people. We're in our busiest tourist time of the year, and unfortunately this is when the fatal accidents do occur. So thank you for doing your part and help reducing any serious crashes or unnecessary deaths in New Hampshire. All right, enough said on that. So today's show is about Crimeline, and Pete is going to give you a little brief, definition or a little more information in what Crimeline is all about. If you haven't heard of Crimeline, or if you do know about Crimeline, I'm sure you don't know everything that Crimeline does, and so this show is gonna, we're gonna talk about what they do and how it affects the community and the police department. And you want to just tell the folks a little bit about Crimeline?
Sure. Like Rob says, Pete Jacopuzzi. I'm a 13-year member of Merrimack Crimeline and a past president. A lot of folks think that we are part of the police department, and we basically are not part of the police department. We're a nonprofit, independent organization made up of involved Merrimack residents and citizens with a board of directors. We work very close with the Merrimack Police Department, and we work through Officer Kelleher, who's our liaison between Crimeline and the Merrimack Police Department, and he always comes to our meetings and we discuss things that happen within the community and how we actually do the things that we do to help the police department. Our main function is to provide funds for payouts for anonymous tips. And the payouts are actually dependent on the severity of the crime, and the Merrimack Police Department has a rating of crimes and the severity, and we will pay up to $1,000 on any arrests made. We do provide the Merrimack Police Department with an anonymous phone line, and that phone number is 424-2424.
And so, Pete, with that being said, I think a lot of people over the years have recognized that number, the 2424 number, and I think they think that's our police line. I just want to let folks know that is not our non-emergency number. That is the Merrimack Crimeline number. If you want to give us information anonymously, that is the number that they should call, the 424-2424 number. And our non-emergency number is 424-3774. And I just want to make that distinction because if you're calling, for an important reason, not an emergency, but you need help or something's urgent, if somehow you get disconnected, if you call the 2424 number and get disconnected, we have no ability to find out where that call came from. So I just wanted to make that known for people not to use that number, only to call if you want to provide information anonymously.
Yeah, because the phone that this number goes to, if you folks remember the old Princess phones, no caller ID, there is nothing. So when you call in, you get a number. It could be number 28, could be number 32, and then you provide, and you're connected with a detective, and you can give the information that you want to give out. We also provide a website that you can do tips through text messaging. And again, that's all anonymous, and you get a phone number. Now, to remain anonymous, and there's investigations going on, there's no way the police department or detectives can get back to you. So you have to try and keep on track of what's going on with your information. And you can still call into the Crimeline number and check to see what's going on as far as any information or arrest. And once there's an arrest made and you get together with the detective or whatever, a payout is made.
Yep.
Now, you think, well, there's going to be a payout, so they're going to see who I am, okay? But we're not going to know who you are. You as an informant would pick the place for the payout, and the detective and a member of Crimeline will come out and we give you cash. Whatever has been decided as to what the severity was, we give you cash. Now, of course, there is paperwork. And the paperwork is because we get audited just like anybody else does, so we have to have paperwork as to monies that we pay out. So it's just a matter of a little smiley face, a little check mark, or an asterisk or something on the paper that you received the money. And the payouts take less than 2 minutes. I mean, we meet you with the detective, give you the money, you make a little check mark on the paper, and we're done.
And some people might say, well, that's not anonymous if, there's a police officer there. Like you said, the reason there's an officer there because we don't know who we're dealing with. It is absolutely 100% anonymous. So the reason why the Crimeline member goes with a detective is just because there's money being
handed out.
Handed out, and that's all it is. We don't ask for a signature or any name or identifiable marking. You can just check the paper and that's good. I don't know if Pete already said it, but Crimeline, it's a non-profit organization. So being a non-profit, you do have audits, and there is guidelines where they have to show any monies that they receive and fundraising or donations, they where that money is going to. So
yeah, we actually work with the Attorney General, and we have regulations that we had to follow and paperwork that we had to follow out with, and so the Attorney General and Crimeline work together, and all that paperwork and so forth is done on a regular basis. So it's a good anonymous. I know the payouts that I've been out on, I have not recognized anybody that I know. Okay, and so it is very anonymous, and it's a good keeps Merrimack safe. I don't know if you know this or not, but Merrimack is the #1 safest city in New Hampshire, and the number 32 or the 32nd state safest state in the country. That has a lot to say.
Yeah, town. Yeah.
It has a lot to say about how the Merrimack Police Department works, how we support the police department, and the information that we get. So that's a big accommodation as far as the Merrimack Police Department and so forth.
Well, and it goes, you know, we need to give the Merrimack Crimeline props too, because, you know, without the partnership with the Merrimack Crimeline, and by offering the, you know, anonymous phone line and web tips, you know, I don't think we would get as much information that we get, you know, to get those numbers, to, you know, to be the safest community in New Hampshire and stuff. It takes a partnership for that.
Yeah.
It's not just we can't do it alone. And so, you know, it's
a good partnership.
We are very lucky that we have such a great crime line in Merrimack.
And we've also noticed, since we've actually introduced the anonymous web tips, I think we get a lot more information through the website. Is that correct, Rob?
It is, yeah. We get a lot more detailed information and accurate information. I think the reason behind that is people are, you know, on their computer, and there's no personal contact.
Right.
When you call on the phone, you still talk to, you know, a dispatcher and then a detective, and you know, so when you go on the computer, it's you know, just type away, and you know, good for us and good for the community, because people give us a lot of good information and detailed information. And it seems like folks who do the web tips, they stay a little more active. They actually, you know, like Pete said, we don't know who you are, but you get assigned a number, and it's up to you to log back in and to see if a detective, you know, maybe asked you, you know, a little more information, or, you know, just to keep that dialogue going, to, you know, foster an arrest, or, you know, a good investigation. So it is strictly on the tipster to follow up. And,
exactly.
You know, if they want to know what's going on, they go back in and, you know, follow it and keep in contact, you know, still anonymous. Right. And
well, you mentioned about the computer. Well, with today's smartphones, texting through a smartphone, they can still do the tip information from their smartphone. So that seems to be a pretty good way also through the texting process, through the smartphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, a lot of questions are raised. You know, how does the Merrimack Crime Line keep going? What's their source of funds?
Okay. Well, we do fundraisers every year. Our biggest fundraiser is our golf tournament, which is always on the second Wednesday in September. And this year is going to be our 17th tournament. So that's 17 years of fundraising, and it's our biggest fundraiser, which brings in, you know, a lot of funds for us that we can, you know, make the payments and the payouts that are necessary. On our website, we do have a website, and you'll probably see that at the bottom of our presentation here. It's www.merrimackcrimeline.org. You can go on our website and check out some of our events and so forth. You can also check out any information there for our golf tournament. Also, you'll find on there there's a sheet here, which is our sponsor level sheet, And we have a multitude of sponsors, businesses, individuals, and so forth that sponsor our tournament, and that is basically how we make this our greatest fundraiser for the year. Some of the other things that we do, we participate in the Merrimack Police Open House, where we provide some food, hamburgers, hot dogs, popcorn, soda, water, so forth. And it's another means for us to go ahead and raise our funds so we have sufficient funds to make payouts. And right now we have sufficient funds to do so. Another thing that we do as a fundraiser, and it doesn't go to the Crimeline piece, we do a magic show every April. We just had our 7th magic show, and what the proceeds for this is to give donation of those proceeds to support Gunny, our Merrimack Police Department K-9. As you know, the town doesn't support, there's not a line item in the budget for Gunny, so we do this in order to help support. And after our 7th year this year, we have donated $11,000 to the K-9 Gunny for the Merrimack Police Department.
And Pete, we really appreciate that, and I know Officer Walters does as well. Officer Walters is the K-9 handler for Gunny, who is our German Shepherd, which is a valuable resource for
Definitely.
us. And I'm glad to say that, during this magic show every year, we also put on a demo, and I'm usually the one that
Gets bitten?
Yeah, Gunny likes to, likes to take a good little bite once in a while, and but it's for a good cause, so he knows it's for him. So I think he bites a little extra hard on that one. But we really do appreciate that, and I know Officer Walters does as well. Yeah. And like Pete said, without those contributions and donations, not only Crimeline, but some of the other ones in town, we're able to keep Gunny, and he's supported without a line item through the budget.
Right. And we also, as far as Gunny goes, we have a donation jar, like at Merrimack Open House or whatever, and whatever the folks from the community want to donate, put in a donation jar, and that money also goes to Gunny.
Yep. So let's talk about the golf tournament, as we are in full circle here. The golf tournament, like Pete said, is always the second Wednesday in September. So for all you golfers who are watching this show, we invite you out to join us. I've been playing in the tournament for over 10 years, and I'm actually part of the organization now and running the tournament for the last 5 years, almost 6 years. This will be the 6th year. So I invite you, Crimeline invites you to join us. And if you own a business in town and you want to, it's a great source to put your advertisement out. There's whole tea sponsors, there's corporate sponsors, there's all kinds of sponsorships available to anybody. Or if you just want to put in a team, normally you put in, it's a foursome, but I can, if there's an individual or only 2 people, I can definitely pair you up with another pair. So it's $100 per person or $400 for a foursome, It's an awesome tournament, mostly local and residents and businesses. I'm proud to say that over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a full field of golfers, and actually the last couple of years, we've had to, turn some teams away because we've been completely full. Not too many tournaments, Pete, can say that.
Not at all, because I played in 15 of the 17 tournaments. This is going to be our 17th. I played in 15 of them, and I think it's the best tournament around. And it's more for your buck. And you can't forget our barbecue. It's put on by the Texas Roadhouse, and barbecued chicken, barbecued ribs, all the condiments and everything, and that's included within your $100.
Yeah, and not only that is, we offer, free soda and water, and for snack time, us golfers like, a little snack in the morning after, hitting that ball, and probably more chasing the ball.
You're tired.
And we also do hot dogs in the morning just before, meal. It's all free.
Yep.
We do coffee and donuts and pastries and all kinds of stuff during registration. I think we have one of the best raffle prize, tables going. And we've been proud to say that, we've kept the same price. We always give a great gift, in the package.
Mm-hmm.
For $100, if you're a golfer, or if you're not a golfer, if you add that up, there's, you're not going to find a more reasonable and, excellent run tournament than this. And not only, it's a local tournament, and the benefits, are going right back into the community, and that's, that's the best part about it.
And it's a Sohegan Woods, which is
half in Merrimack
and
half in Amherst.
So it's local. It's not that far away. So, but it's always a great tournament, and we look forward to having you play golf if you want to, or helping us through sponsorships.
Yeah, and if you, as you can see on the flyer, if you want to, get more information, you can go right on the MerrimackCrimeline.org website, or you can email me or call me. My email address is rkelleher@merrimacknh.gov, or my direct line is 420-1853.
And the same thing with my phone number is 424-2168, and my email address is giacapuzzi@gmail.com. Thank you.
You better look that one up on the flyer.
It's on the flyer.
So let's talk a little bit more about the accomplishments of Crimeline, Pete.
Okay.
I know, this is kind of a proud thing that, you folks, took it upon yourself to actually, your annual scholarship, you guys created a annual police chief scholarship fund, and you didn't have to do that. You could have said Merrimack Crimeline, scholarship, but that's the type of folks you guys are. You're not looking for kudos or any accolades, but just naming it the police chief scholarships is
Yeah, we thought about it. It used to be the Crimeline Scholarship, and we decided that it would be more apropos to call it the Police Chief Scholarships, and we give 2 $1,000 scholarships to Merrimack High School seniors. So, we just awarded 2 in May. So it's a thing that we decided to call it that. So.
So again, all the money raised through fundraising, it's being put right back into the community, and helping every age group. High school seniors, the cost of college, and $1,000 scholarship that's a decent scholarship,
Yes.
for any kid that,
Yeah. The other thing that we do, you folks came up with, the police department came up with an idea. When there's a problem in your neighborhood, the Merrimack police used to go out and knock on doors. And if nobody was home, they couldn't get the information. So you folks came up with an idea to do a door knocker. And what that door knocker does is gives information on anything that's happening in your neighborhood to keep an eye out for. Everything is written on it, and it's hung on your outside door. So when you come home, you have an idea as to, okay, what to look out for and what's going on. So that was a great idea by the Merrimack Police Department, and we support it by making these for you folks. Something else that we do, we'll get to Neighborhood Watch in just a minute or two. But for the Neighborhood Watch, we provide the signs for the neighborhoods that that neighborhood or community is under the Neighborhood Watch. We do a semi-annual road cleanup, and we go from on DW Highway from the Common Man all the way up to Axles. So that's something. And the other thing that we've just done, which was done last year, we provide Remain Anonymous signs, and they're in all the schools, the high schools, the middle schools, elementary schools, all the parks around town, Kids Cove, Skate Park, and all that. So it gives the information, and basically Remain Anonymous, make cash. Okay.
All right,
Yep.
so
Neighborhood Watch.
Pete made mention about the Neighborhood Crime Watch. I go around with Crimeline, and we give a presentation to any neighborhood that would like to have a neighborhood be part of a Neighborhood Crime Watch. And Bill Behrens is my liaison through Crimeline. He's been to every meeting that I've given, and so if you're interested in that as well, just reach out to me and see what we can do. Thanks for having us today. That's the end of the show.
Thank you.